So before I show you the completion, I just want to give my thoughts and opinions on this level, because I have been wanting to beat this level ever since I saw it for the first time. It has basically been a big dream of mine to beat this level, but I never thought I would ever be able to do it, because I'm just really bad at this game. When I first got introduced to this level, my hardest at that time was deadlocked. And right before I beat this level, my hardest was Future Funk, which is a hard demon. So I jumped from deadlocked to a hard demon, and then I jumped from a hard demon to an extreme, which wasn't really smart because I spent too much time trying to beat this. I spent like 2 years or something. Naturally, I wasn't playing all the time. I spent like 3,500 attempts from zero, and in total, including the runs, I spent like 20,000 attempts. Well, less than 20,000 attempts in total. And like I said, my hardest before this was Future Funk, which is also an XXL level, just like this one. But those levels, even though they are both like 4 to 5 minutes long, they feel very different. They are hard for very different reasons. Future Funk is a hard demon which has like easy to medium demon gameplay. But what makes it hard is that it's really long, it has a difficult duel, and the infamous 99%. So that level kind of relies on your nerve control, where you have to survive for like 4 minutes straight without dying. But the gameplay is very straightforward in Future Funk. The same cannot be said about this level. The main difficulty in this level was that this level just takes forever to learn. The gameplay here is not sight readable at all, at least not for me, because I'm just not that good at the game. Like, this level had very unorthodox gameplay, which takes forever to get used to. It has very unique gameplay, and it has some gimmicks that you just have to practice to understand. For example, there were orbs in the beginning that you have to click twice, and you have this moment where you pause. Then there's this other part in the ball part where you also pause, like somewhere here you also pause. Like, those things can throw you off at first, so you have to practice them a lot, and basically you have to just learn the click patterns. Like, it takes forever to learn, and you have to learn the click patterns, but once you learn the click patterns, this level gets really easy, like a lot easier than you might expect. Like, you get really consistent once you learn how to do this level. It might actually be one of the most consistent extreme demons ever, which is why I eventually was like, oh, I can actually do this. I can actually beat this. Like, the first really difficult part is the spider part. I think if it wasn't for this part, this level probably would have been an insane demon. Like, this part is here to throw beginners off. This part separates the noobs from the pros. Many players would probably give up because of how hard this part is. And at first, I thought that this level was impossible, like, because of this part. and I complained that this level is too hard, literally, which is why it's such a big dream. It was such a big dream and almost unrealistic goal for me to ever be able to beat this. Like, this part is in high speed. Well, not the UFO part, the spider part. It goes in like double speed. And you have orb timings in high speed, which is like really hard to learn. And you have to practice this part a lot before you finally learn it. But once you learn it, you get surprisingly consistent on it. And once I started getting consistent, that's when I was like, oh, I might actually be able to beat this. And then you pass this really hard part. And then you get the UFO and the cube, which is a lot easier than the spider part. And then you get here. And this part is just so satisfying to pull off. You have a weird gimmick here where the orb follows you. But like, it syncs so well with the song, and the song just builds up and it gets more tense here. So just, this part is so fun to play every time. And then the music gets even more intense, and you have this weird wave part, which is like, how do I even explain this? You hold on the up arrow and release before the down arrow. Like, this is what I mean with this level having unorthodox gameplay. Like, it has very unique gameplay. And once you pass this whole part, you get prepared to basically the second part of the level, which is this and this and this. And then you have this part, which is also really satisfying to pull off, really fun to play, because this is like the pre-drop. The music just amps up so much, and you click to the music with a boom, 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 the orbs, boom, boom. And then you get to the drop. And a lot of this is just holding and releasing to the song and UFO spamming. Then you get to this part, which is supposed to be a breather, but it's still quite challenging because there is a lot of orbs here. But once you pass this part, here, this part is where the nerves really start kicking in. This part is like supposed to be the breather, like the calm before the storm. The music gets really quiet in this part. The gameplay also gets very easy, pretty easy in this part. This part is like the omen, the final moments of rest, and then you prepare for like the worst. Like I said, this is the calm before the storm, this whole part. And once you pass this part is pretty easy except for this one click. Once you get here, to this section, this is where you really feel the heart pounding. You get really nervous here. This part is basically a build-up, a huge build-up to what is probably the hardest part in the whole level, which is the spider duel. This part is so hard that I almost quit the level because of this. You're technically supposed to click to the song, but not really. Some of the clicks you have to slightly delay or you will die. And this is something that you have to learn. You have to practice this part a whole lot in order to learn it. Because this is like an asymmetrical spider duel. So you cannot see what the heck is going on here. So it's a very confusing part with very low sight readability. So you just have to learn a click pattern, a specific click pattern. You just have to like guess and then hope that you find the right click pattern, and once you find it, you have to just memorize the click pattern or something. But just like with everything else in this level, once you learn it, it gets so much easier. Like, this is the thing with this level. This level takes forever to learn, but once you learn it, it gets really easy. Like, at least compared to most other extreme demons. Then you get to this part. And when you get to this part, you had just passed like the hardest part of the level. So now your responsibility here is to not fuck up the rest of the level. But I still did. I still died quite a few times past this point, mainly due to lag. I was lagging really bad because I was playing in full detail mode. I probably should have played in like ultra low detail mode, but I refused to do that because the level just looks cooler in full detail. I wanted to appreciate the beauty and the art of this level, so I had to play with laggy gameplay, basically. Then you have this fast-paced section, which is learny, but it becomes really easy, unless you get nervous. It's very easy to get nervous here, but if you have like good nerve control, this part is really easy. And once you learn it, of course, because this part is quite learny. Also, I used a secret way here. You can literally skip this blue orb and land here. You will see this in the completion. But once you pass this part, you get to the infamous dash orb wave, which might actually be even harder than the spider duel. This is like some of the most unusual gameplays that like nobody has ever seen before. It takes forever to get used to this kind of gameplay, where you like hold and release dash orbs to the right time, and then you do this up down where you land on walls and stuff. It's the kind of gameplay you don't really see very often, so it takes forever to learn this gameplay. And even if you learn it, when you play this, when I played this, I usually lagged a lot here. Once again, this part probably would have been easier in ultra low detail mode, but like in high detail, you lag a lot. You can't see anything because there's a lot of like background stuff going on, and the background looks very similar to the obstacles. So you essentially just have to rely on muscle memory here and having learned the click pattern. Then you come to the second duel after this part, which I personally don't think is as difficult as the first spider duel. But it's still pretty hard, like mainly for the ending. Like, most of this duel is quite straightforward, but this transition, like this transition from the duel to like the single ball part is really confusing. Then you get to this part, which has one really hard click, and it's this freaking black orb. This is unironically one of the hardest clicks in the whole level. And it's really frustrating that it's so late into this level. Like, imagine passing this really difficult spider duel, and then this really difficult dash orb wave section, and then even the second asymmetrical duel, only to die to one stupid black orb. But I guess this is the point of extreme demons. Like, this is an extreme demon, so of course it has a very evil click, like very late into the level. But basically, there's a really hard timing to this. You have to click late or you die, but you don't want to click too late or you crash into this obstacle, basically. And I'm glad that I did not die a single time here when going from 0%. When I was doing runs, I died here a lot, but from 0% I did not die here a single time, which I'm grateful for. But once you pass this part, you're basically guaranteed, like, everything after this black orb is really easy. Like, as soon as you pass this black orb, you're basically guaranteed to beat the level, as long as you don't get nervous. Because here's the thing, everything after this click is really nerve-wracking. Not because of how difficult it is, but because of how easy it is. Especially this last part. Like, this last part is probably like the easiest. This is the very ending, and it's probably also the easiest part of the whole level. And that's exactly what makes it so freaking nerve-wracking. Like, when I died at 99% in Future Funk, that was at least understandable because the last 3 clicks there are difficult. It makes sense why you would die there. But here, imagine going through all the difficult parts, all the difficult duels and the dash orb wave and even this black orb somewhere here. And you're supposed to beat the level at this point. You're not supposed to die, and yet you die to a very easy part just because you got too nervous. Like, that would make you feel really bad about yourself. That would really make you feel horrible. Like, dying to a part that you're not supposed to because it's so easy at the end. Because you got too nervous. And I'm grateful that I managed to keep my composure throughout this part so that I could beat this level. I probably would have felt like a failure if I died here from 0. But anyways, the reason why I decided to go for this level is because I was just so fascinated by this level ever since the first time I saw it. This is easily one of the best extremes in the game. It's like top 10 best extreme demons in the whole game. Let's first talk about the design, the art style. I just feel like I am transported into a different world when I'm playing it. And like this world that I feel like I'm being immersed into, it just invokes a lot of childhood nostalgia in me. Like, especially look at some of those designs. Look at some of those designs. Like, this shit really invokes like some random childhood memories, like for absolutely no reason. It's like this abstraction that just invokes something in me. And then you have you have this effect here, which is so cool that I'm not kidding when I say that I literally died here once because I got so distracted by this effect. I was so mesmerized by this effect and I was like, wow. And then I lost control of my gameplay and I died. But it's okay, because I beat the level the same day. And it's funny because if I ever died here, I would expect to die obviously to that black orb over there. Like this black orb here. But I died to a pretty easy click like here because I got so distracted by the background effect. But once again, I beat the level like a few hours later, and so I basically fluked from this click to like 100%, so like 83 to 100, which I don't think counts as a fluke, but you know what I mean. 83% was my best, and then I got my new best after that was 100. And the gameplay is also, like I said, the gameplay of this level is very unusual, very unorthodox. Holy crap, why can't I pronounce unorthodox? The gameplay here is so unique, it's so original, which gives this level so much identity. But it's also what adds like to the difficulty of the level because of how unorthodox the gameplay is and how much you have to learn it. But like I said, it gets a lot easier once you finally learn it. And then there's the song. The level just fits the song so well. And of course it does. It's a lot of click sync. The gameplay is basically designed to sync to the song. But like the gameplay and visuals, in my opinion, just like fit the song so well. Just this level overall is a masterpiece. And I'm glad that I persevered and was able to eventually beat it. Anyways, enjoy the completion. Ba ba ba, ba ba ba. Holy crap, I just beat it. I just beat an extreme demon. Did I just beat an extreme demon? Holy crap, I just beat an extreme demon. Holy fucking crap. I expected my reaction to be way wilder. Way wilder. I want to thank my brother. It wouldn't be possible without him. He beat Bloodbath on 60 Hz, by the way. He jumped from Windy Landscape. And now he's trying to beat Limbo. Wish him luck. He really motivated me to do this. Holy fucking crap. I think he just heard that I beat fucking Mystic Bounds. Wait. I got 3,549 attempts. How many attempts did I use on runs? 13,000. Yeah, I can do the math now. It's less than 20,000 attempts, I hope.